So, for those who watched the first part, we have brought the second part. Today we have brought the second episode of the Flash series. So, let's get to the story. Barry Allen was still adjusting to his new life as the Flash. Speeding through the streets of Central City, he saved people in the blink of an eye. Tonight, he stopped an armed robbery at a convenience store. With a quick blur of red lightning, the criminals were tied up before they even realized what had happened. But as soon as Barry stopped running, something strange happened. His vision blurred, his legs weakened, and suddenly he collapsed onto the pavement. Back at STAR Labs, Caitlin Snow and Cisco Ramon ran tests. Barry was exhausted and nearly unconscious. Dr. Harrison Wells, still acting as his mentor, explained the problem. Running at such high speeds burned massive amounts of energy. If Barry didn't consume enough calories, he would crash. "Think of yourself as a race car," Wells said. "You need fuel, and right now you're running on empty." Cisco handed Barry a tray of protein bars. "Congratulations, my friend. You now have the diet of a sumo wrestler." Barry smirked and took a bite, but something else was on his mind. He wanted to do more. He wanted to be a hero. The next threat, meanwhile, a new danger lurked in the city. At an abandoned warehouse, a ruthless criminal named Danton Black was experimenting with something incredible. He could create clones of himself, exact duplicates, moving and thinking in perfect unison. Danton was once a respected scientist, but after the STAR Labs particle accelerator explosion, he had gained metahuman abilities. His research on cloning had become a terrifying reality, and now he was out for revenge against his former employer, Simon Stagg. Simon Stagg was a wealthy businessman, and Danton believed he had stolen his research. With his army of clones, Danton attacked Stagg's building, cutting through security like an unstoppable force. Barry, still recovering from his earlier collapse, heard the police radio call and raced to the scene. The first fight. As Barry arrived, he saw something impossible. Danton wasn't alone. There were dozens of him, all moving together, attacking Stagg's security team. Barry jumped into action, using his speed to take them down one by one. But every time he hit one, another appeared. It was like fighting a ghost. Then, suddenly, a dozen Dantons surrounded him. They attacked at once, and for the first time, Barry realized speed wasn't enough. Outnumbered and overwhelmed, he was beaten down. He barely escaped, running away as fast as he could. Back at STAR Labs, Barry was furious. "I'm fast, but that's not enough," he said. He was everywhere at once. Dr. Wells warned him that rushing into fights without a plan could get him killed. Caitlin, still hesitant about Barry risking his life, urged him to be more careful. Cisco, however, had an idea. If Danton's clones were all connected, there had to be a limit. "Find the real one," Cisco said, "and take him out." The clones should disappear. Barry wasn't sure. Was he really ready for this? Family and sacrifice. As Barry struggled with doubt, his father figure, Detective Joe West, confronted him. "I know what you're doing," Joe said. "You're playing hero, but this isn't a game." Barry, frustrated, shot back. "I can help people now. I couldn't save my mum, but I can save others." Joe sighed. "And what happens when you can't? What happens when you get yourself killed?" For years, Joe had been the only father Barry had. He didn't want to lose him now, but Barry had made up his mind. The final battle. That night, Danton attacked Stag again, but this time Barry was ready. He rushed into the fight, dodging attacks, moving faster than before. He analysed the clones, looking for something, the original. And then he saw it. The real Danton moved just a little differently. Barry took a deep breath, gathered all his speed, and ran straight at him. With one powerful punch, he knocked Danton out. Just like that, the clones vanished. Defeated, Danton whispered, "I only wanted to be strong enough to bring back the person I lost." And then he collapsed. The dark secret. With Danton gone, Simon Stagg was safe, but he had seen something extraordinary, a man with super speed. Stagg was fascinated. He told his assistant, "Imagine what we could do if we captured him."